Hello, retail traders. This is Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And right now, I want to talk about the tragedy that happened last couple weeks or last week with Delta Airlines and Alaska Air. And I think this would be a good catalyst for this next stock pick that I'm going to pull out of the hat today, and that'll be Delta, DAL. They had earnings last Friday, and it sounded pretty good. The earnings really were real good, but kind of dampened with the forecast of 2024. Now, I can understand the geopolitical issues that are happening right now, especially if we end up in a world war, which we could easily under this administration. We've got might have three fronts going on right now. We have two. We have the Ukraine war, and then we have the Red Sea, and we have Israel, Hamas, and Iran, and that whole mess that's creating boiling up over there in the Red Sea. So it kind of gave me the thoughts that with that tragic that happened with Boeing, and it's a lot farther worse than what most people were thinking, or at least what CNBC was talking about. They figured they'd be back in the air, and it was just a one thing problem. I think it's a little deeper than that. This plane was only 3 months old, and it just got me 3 months. I mean, it just got me thinking that it's not a good thing. I figured they should go in there and inspect every plane bolt by bolt, and they they haven't been doing that. So that might just give a leg up and might help Delta in 2024, which will bring. They've already casted a low forecast. Just imagine coming in next earnings, and all of a sudden they get a great earnings pick, and boom, the stock goes up. So I want to catch it before they do. Delta 23 earnings grew 95%, but the air carrier, see, that's what I said. I didn't think they were that good, and then all of a sudden they come up with this earning growth. The carrier isn't expecting much earnings per share growth in 2024, and Delta more than doubled fourth quarter profit, but trims 2024 earnings forecast. So that's the headlines. And I just got me thinking. I said, well, what if people get leery of going United and going Alaska Air? That could bring some of that popularity over to Delta. And so I think the earnings are going to be better than the actual CEO anticipates, unless he plans on doing a lot of spending. So let's go ahead and get into the charts. There's something very interesting that I saw in the chart. And as we pulled back and we started to bounce up, this is a weekly time frame. We had three white soldiers. And after three white soldiers, it's natural to have a little bit of pullback, a little bit of consolidation. And then with that news of airlines, this was a sympathy dip of the whole sector, which gives me good opportunity, I think, to take this trade off the 50 SMA, which is this green line. And we pulled right back into close, which suggests that maybe we found a support to day trade this on Tuesday. And if we can get in this trade, I might run it back up to this here resistance here on the bottom of that candle, around 4103, maybe a little bit sooner, right around 4080. These are going to be my three resistance levels. If we can break 4038 and 4103, I think we can get to double top at 4237. And that'll almost be the shoulder line of this inverse of this regular head and shoulders. So I'm really excited about this thing, maybe even tapping up and touching this final resistance. So we're going to go ahead and put a price line there. I really like that spot for long. Hit that shoulder line at 4287. Man, that'll be the top of that wick. Well, at least it'll be the shoulder. You got the left shoulder and the right shoulder and the head. And we're down here at a pretty good support off the 50. Now I'm going to take this to the yearly and just get one look at it and see if there's anything that's different. As we see, the 50 even on the yearly is starting to curl up. And if that 50 crosses the 200, we could have us what you call golden cross. So I'm going to keep my eyes on this here Tuesday morning see if it does have a little bit of pullback. It might have still a little bit, but we're starting a new week. It's a short week. And if we can touch that 50 on the daily, I'm sure we can run up into this channel of support or resistance. And if we can break that resistance of 40.38 to 41.03, I'm pretty sure we can keep running on up, and then take it up around 42 to 43 bucks. And that's it. That's Dow. I've really got my eyes set on this here stock. One of the ladies in the room kind of convinced me, she has friends that like flying Dow, and then I checked out the website, and the profit was, really good. The profit was outstanding. I listened to the CEO Friday talk. He seemed like a stand-up kind of guy. And I'm just kind of leery about cutting the forecast, but I think my testimony about the drama that United Airlines has and Alaska Air, that could give a little bit more room for Delta to maybe improve on its earnings instead of getting that ugly forecast. And that could be a good thing. So the CEO says, he's kind of concerned about the earnings. The fat cats are liking Dow. They talked about Dow and say this is their number one pick into 2024. And I can see why now. Just probably not because of the incident that happened with United Airlines and Alaska Air and Boeing. They're going to put that money somewhere in that sector. That's it. Retail traders, have a great day. This is a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now.